Dips are the upper body squat, and if you're skipping them, you're leaving gains on the table. If you're serious about building muscle and willing to do the work most people avoid, this old school exercise will transform your body. Today, you'll learn why dips are effective, how to train them pain-free, and learn my best tips for making progress. Now, just like squats, dips train multiple muscles at once. Compound exercises like this are an efficient way to overload your chest, anterior delts, and triceps. Now, if you progressively overload on these, you don't need complicated workout programs or new exercise that you see online. Shock horror, hard work is what counts. The reason dips aren't more popular is because they're difficult. And there are so many easier alternatives in the gym. Just look around you. There's usually a wait time for the cables or machines. That dip station, it tends to be more available by comparison. And sure, machines have their place in bodybuilding, but if your goal is to build a well-rounded body, one that not only looks good, but is broadly strong, the old school dip is an exercise that should be in your routine. Honestly, 10 dips in a row is something that everyone should strive to do at a minimum. If you're not there yet, please roll up your sleeves and let's get to work. Don't worry, I'll show you guys the best exercises on dips to get stronger from easy to hard. All right, dips are what we call a closed chain exercise. You have to move yourself through space, creating enough tension and coordination to handle each rep. Because of all that body stabilization, the strength that you do gain has an excellent carryover to both calisthenics and free weight training. When using a full range of motion, that's when the gains are going to be truly bestowed onto your body. By getting a nice stretch through the chest, it's going to blow up your pecs when you take those dips close to failure. Here's the most important technique tip. You want to lower down as far as your mobility allows. Aiming to hit around 90 degrees is a good standard. Even deeper is good money if your body agrees with it. The key with dips is using a form that feels pain-free on your joints, yet hits your muscles hard. Just experiment and find that sweet spot that works for you. When dips are included as part of a complete routine, that is when the magic happens. I want to teach you how to get big, strong, jacked, flexible with calisthenics. Get my programs, I'll be your coach at fitnessfaqs.com. High volume dips are an underrated method for growing bigger with calisthenics. I'm talking about doing 20, 30 plus reps in a set, which theoretically still builds muscle. Now, it's safe to say that most of you doing this are going to be failing on dips well before this, making them a highly effective way to build muscle. The key here is, just like on any exercise, you've got to be pushing yourself hard. The rep speed, it should be slowing down, especially towards the end of a set. You should also be struggling to lock out those final few dips. That's the intensity that challenges you, and that's the intensity that's going to change you. Dips are often mistaken as just a bodyweight movement, but they can be progressively overloaded with a belt for a lifetime of gains. The weighted dip is an exercise that's constantly in my own program. These plump pecs right here, they're a product. I'm a big fan of the simple strength approach here. I keep my reps between 3 and 6, and my only goal is to lift more weight over time. Keep it simple, stupid is something that I have tattooed in my mind. By just using linear progression and focusing on getting stronger at dips, the results are going to come as a byproduct. I'm genuinely grateful for the impact that weighted calisthenics has had on my physique. When I was around 20 years old, after a few years of training, weighted dips and general bodyweight exercises were basically all that I did. No bench press, no overhead pressing with weights, just dips for the pecs, shoulders, and triceps. This is a reminder of the value of old school exercises. Progression, putting full effort into your training hard and consistently over time. If you're eventually doing dips with weight added, there's simply no way that you're going to stay skinny. I wish most people would stop fluffing around with all of these isolations. Instead, just embrace dips like a calisthenics bro and get a crazy build. One of the best filters for if an exercise is good is simple. Can you overload it? Dips prove that the intensity can be increased with progressions, weight, and eventually challenging yourself on rings. This variation is a game changer because you have the freedom of movement. Your body can move in a way that suits its strength and mobility, which equals pain-free pressing. The instability on rings is the obvious difference on this compared to training dips on parallel bars. When you first try this out, your arms are going to be doing interpretive dance and you'll be feeling really awkward. muscles working in ways that you've never felt before. But with practice, you're going to be dipping in a more straightforward path and be more stable. Rings are what we call a self-limiting exercise. This means you'll be doing fewer reps with less weight compared to the parallel bar version. This is good news for recovery because you're going to bounce back quicker for the next session. The only downside is that your ego is going to take a hit. Just accept it. Because the hands move freely, the chest is going to work to its full range, getting that deep stretch at the bottom and a strong contraction at the top. All that freedom on rings means you're going to get better muscle activation, better growth, less joint discomfort. It's all embedded in there. Dips being painful is a common complaint. Here's some reasons why and how to fix it. The elephant in the room is body fat. If you're too fat, carrying too much extra weight, say around 25%, dips, they're going to feel hard, if not impossible. That's often why people avoid them and default to doing the bench press instead. The takeaway isn't to blame the exercise, but to remember that improving body composition and your overall health makes your relative strength improve. So things like dips are going to be far more manageable. Dips hurt because you don't have enough shoulder mobility. Keep doing your dips at a pain-free range and you're trying to go deep over time as you can. You'll build up your mobility and they shouldn't be as uncomfortable. If you're training on dip bars that are too wide, this can really jack up your shoulders. So you got to experiment with different grip widths, play around with different equipment and find what suits your body. Not being strong enough is another reason for getting pain on dips. You've got to use regressions to reduce the amount of body weight going through yourself. So bands or machines should make it comfortable. Otherwise, train the deficit push-up to increase your shoulder extension mobility and also strengthen up all of those dip muscles that are involved so that way you can get back into your dips and get that old school strength. Calisthenics shouldn't be slept on. Watch this Fitness FAQs video to learn this beautiful training style and join the club. Go on.